Robin, I know a large focus of today was on film and television, but you do a lot of theater, and I was wondering, in terms of your theater career, what's been one of the biggest moments that was the most gratifying?
Wow. The most sort of magical moment. I've had a lot of, stage is my favorite. I love film and television, but stage, you get to tell the story from the beginning to the end. You get to do it multiple times, so you're constantly finding new levels and new emotions and new feelings in it. I did a production of Les Liaisons Dangereuses, which I was nominated for an award for, and it was wonderful. That language is so beautiful. But one of the most fulfilling theatrical experiences that I've had in the last few years was at the Geffen. And here's how it happened. I was going through the breakdowns. I don't know why they don't let actors have those. You know, it's the one place that we can find work, but don't give it to the people who need it. And so sue me if you want to. So I was looking at the breakdowns, and the Geffen was casting a play, All My Sons, and Arthur Miller's All My Sons. And I got this feeling in my gut that this had something to do with me. I mean, it was hugely powerful, that somehow there was a connection here for me. And then I remembered that I had seen my father perform in All My Sons when I was 4 years old. And I didn't really remember the play. I just knew that it had to do with betrayal and deception. And I knew that I was too young to play the mother, I was too old to play the ingenue, and I wasn't charactery enough to play the next door neighbor. But boy, I felt like this was something. And so I mentioned it to my agent, but I just let it go. No, I don't even have mentioned it to my agent. About 3 days later, I got a call that they wanted me to come to audition for the neighbor. And I said, should I dress, frumpily or put on a fat suit or something? What should I do? They said, no, just go as you are. And it was so important to me that I asked Evan if it were at all possible for him to drive me. So I didn't have to worry so I could just work on the words and what I wanted to do. I didn't want to have to park. I didn't want to have to deal with a parking attendant or money or anything like that. I just wanted to be dropped off, go in, do my thing, and leave. And I was so happy. And by the way, any actor, when you have something important like that and you want that, ask for it. Okay, now with Uber, I guess anybody can do it. But anyway, so it worked out that way. So I walked in, I did my thing. They said, can you make an adjustment here? I said, yes, they asked me for the adjustment. I gave it back to them. Thank you very much. And I left. And the next day they called and I got the job. And it was at the moment when George Bush was now invading Iraq for something that Saudi Arabia had done. And we were invading Iraq. And the play, if you're not familiar with it, is about a man who manufactures airplane parts, and his partner starts cutting corners, and so sends defective airplane parts to the boys that are flying in World War II. And many of the planes were shot down, and many men were killed. And one of the people that was killed was Joseph Keller's own son. So hence the name of the play. They were All My Sons. Now, at the same time that this play was going on, we were invading Iraq. And if you recall, there was a big hue and cry that because we were so rushing to battle, we were sending them over without the proper kind of protective equipment that they needed. Do you remember that? That there were jeeps that were not undergirded with steel plates, and all the IEDs were blowing our men and women up. And it was and parents were sending parts for the soldiers to put onto their machine, not tanks, but their vehicles and everything to protect them. So this play could not have been more timely. And so to be in this play, telling this same story that was happening right now, because manufacturers were wanting to sell their war machines, they wanted to get them out there, make that money, we're going to war, let's get that going on. Screw the soldiers who are suffering, which is the same thing that this play was about. so with the cosmic consciousness that everyone had, the people who came to the theater, it was an awesome experience to be telling this story at the time when it was happening again, and for profit, and things being covered up and lied about, and betrayal and deception. And I would sometimes go out in the audience during rehearsals just to watch the rest, because it was so. And Neil Patrick Harris played the boy, or the son, the surviving son. Len Cariou, who's a fabulous actor and is on Blue Bloods, played the father. Laurie Metcalf was the mother. I played the next door neighbor, and my character is the one who drops the big bombshell, no pun intended, at the end of the play that reveals that we know that he's the one who did this and he was responsible, and his son, was a victim of all this too. And I was happily nominated for that performance as well. But the powerful thing about it was the doing of it at this moment in time when it was so poignant and real. And the audiences loved it. We had standing ovations every single performance. The only time that we didn't was the Sunday matinee. And when the lights came up, we discovered that the only people who weren't on their feet, it was because they were too old to stand.
Oh. Okay.
They were applauding away and loving it too. But to have that sort of confluence of art and life at the same moment was hugely powerful and very meaningful to me. And I was just really moved by having the opportunity to have that experience.